Well, welcome to the Java programming unit on introducing Java, right over here on the left. While there's no work to be done in this unit, I do just want to go through it just so you know the terminology and the different things you're going to be doing in the course. So taking a look at this course is designed to give you additional experience and knowledge about computer programming, and you'll learn that through doing some Java programming. After you complete this course, you'll know the history of Java, be able to write a simple Java program, compile and run a Java program, understand variables and operators. You'll know about object-oriented programming. You'll be able to implement inheritance in Java programming, handle custom and system exception errors, work with arrays, use threads in Java programming, understand basic elements of GUI using Java, and handle strings effectively. As all my courses, we don't do the discussions, so we're skipping that. So let's go down to Section A and take a look at what Section A has to offer. Well, Java was first called Oak, like it would be a tree that would grow into something, but the developer of it, James Gosling, finally settled on Java for one reason or another. I imagine you could figure out, you could probably go online and do a search on Google to find out what that name came from. And it was to be similar to C and C+ language that were popular at the time. So it was developed in 91, and the first release came in 95, Java 1.0. Now I think we're at like version 1.6 or something like that. It's kind of confusing how all these things upgrade all the time, isn't it? And it was platform independent, meaning that it could run on PCs, Apples. Nowadays, of course, it can run on smartphones and things like that. So that was one of the real benefits of it. And in Java, you have what's called a virtual machine, and that's what runs the program. So Java Virtual Machine runs it. It's like a computer, but within the computer. We'll learn about the virtual machine and getting that set up properly. Major web browsers incorporate Java applets, and you've seen that before, right? Applets that run Java, they incorporate those. There's lots of Java development done for online applications, smartphone applications, and things like that. Now, platform independence means it can be, once the code is written, it can be compiled and run on any program because the Java compiler and Java virtual machine are used on whatever computer one happens to be using. So that's a real benefit of it being platform independent. And the code helps it run on the different operating systems. The way that it works is that during execution, the compiler automatically creates a file of these byte codes. And since all operating systems that run programs have the Java virtual machine, then Java byte codes are easily interpreted, or all platforms can interpret these Java byte codes. It is object-oriented. And we saw object-oriented in the last programming course. And what it means is that an object can receive messages from other objects, it can process information, it can send messages to another object. And that's different from using routines and subroutines like older programming did. So if we think about object-oriented programming as being the top of a building, well, the structure of object-oriented programming is encapsulation, polymorphism, data abstraction, and inheritance. So, and those all come from classes, and classes are all based on objects. So we've learned some of this before, like a class is a blueprint. It's like a bicycle would be a class, but the object would be the information about that bicycle. Then all the four pillars, encapsulation, abstraction, inheritance, transferring properties from one class to another, and polymorphism means many different forms. So the class names can have many different forms, which is the polymorphism. And it's nice to go over this terminology because you'll face it as you start getting into the class more. So a bunch of features of Java that we just talked about: platform independence, it's object-oriented, it uses a compiler and an interpreter, or within the, as long as the Java virtual machine is installed. no matter what operating system. It's really robust, meaning it's strong. It can do lots of different applications and execute many different types of programs. It automatically manages memory for your computer, executes the coding really quickly, uses very little computer memory, and it's easily operated over the internet, over networks. So lots of positives going for it. Now in section B, a little bit more about how it works. So when you do your coding, you have the Java source code, and then it goes to the compiler, and the compiler creates the Java class file. Then the Java class file gets interpreted, and then it goes ahead and it executes. So you can see it's kind of a six-step process, but obviously it's immediate. We won't see that it goes step by step by step. And of course, as always, we write the program in human language. That's what's called the source code. Then that gets translated into the machine language and compiled and all of that. Getting started with it, we're going to install JDK. And don't go through this process. I'm going to upload a tutorial, a PowerPoint tutorial that will help you install the Java Developer Kit. That's what you're going to install. So do not worry about going through this. It's somewhat confusing. And then it also has you do a path setup, and I'm not sure if we have to do that with this latest version of Java. If you do, then I'll give you the directions for that. But again, don't worry about going through and doing this path setup for now. I'll let you know if you have to do it later. And then when you do your work with Java, you have to think about the workflow and how everything flows together so you can understand it and things like that. And you use what's called JavaDoc, which is where you can put comments that explain the code. Now they're not executed, but they're comments that tell people what the code is doing. And we'll learn how to put comments in. So you can see right here, this comment tells whoever looks at the program, the code of the program, tells them what the program is going to actually do. And we'll learn how to do that. And finally, a discussion of the pros and cons of Java. We're not going to do that, so you'll skip that. So that's all for week 1. So if I go back up here to the course home, and I look at week 1, of course you've done this already in the course home area. And then for the second half of the week, this is what I just went over and recorded for you. So that's all for week 1. Then in week 2, we'll start with the basics, and I'll also post probably in week 1 here how to get that get Java and Developer Kit installed in your computer. So that's all I have for you, everybody. I look forward to the great work that I'm sure you'll do. Talk to you soon. Bye.